There's a raise to $15 for middle position, which the hijack calls, the cutoff folds, and I call on the button holding ace-9 offsuit. One of the blinds calls as well. We go 4 ways to a flop, a 5 of hearts, ace of diamonds, queen of hearts. First to act checks. The original raiser now bets out for $20. The hijack raises to $40. I call the $40, and the original bettor now folds, so we're heads up to the turn of the jack of diamonds. 2 flush draws on board, super wet and connected board, and I have top pair crappy kicker with none of the draws. The guy who originally raised the turn now leads out for $75. He doesn't have much behind, maybe another $250. I contemplate calling here, but King 10 is very much in his range, and the $75 bet, especially while using a black $100 chip, felt very value-y in the moment. He could easily have 2 pair here, easily have made the straight already, could be on a monster flush draw. I just felt like it was either fold or go all in.
Nope.
But I'm pretty sure I'm drawing dead at this point. I get the feeling, so I let my hand go and I'm down another $55 really quick. There's a raise to $10 from under the gun, a call from next to act. I call the $10 and the guy next to me calls the $10 and one more caller from the small blind, I believe, and we're going 5 ways to a flop. First to act checks. The original raiser bets $20. Next to act calls the $20. I call the $20 with my open ender, and we get one other caller. So we're 4 ways to the turn of the 5 of hearts. Small blind now checks. Under the gun now fires out for a hefty $75 bet. Next to act snap folds, and I think about it, but $75 into $132 to try and hit my straight just doesn't seem like the best odds. I fold and I'm down another $30. I really don't know what to do in these situations. Am I supposed to call and hope I hit my hand on the river? Do I raise a huge amount and risk getting called and potentially lose more, but also possibly get the aggressor to fold? Please leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. So I'm once again pretty frustrated, not being able to make a hand at all. All the hands I was in that I didn't show that were before this were similar. Good starting hand, connected in some way with the board, face a larger than half pot size bet and just can't find it in me to make a call or raise in those spots. And the vast majority of the time I would not have made my hand and I would have had to take a chance bluffing on the river. But in this hand, I'm on the button with pocket 5s. There are at least 4 limpers before I raise it to $15 and I get 4 callers. And the flop comes out like a dream. 5 of diamonds, ace of hearts, king of spades. Nothing like bottom set on a board with an ace and a king. But everyone checks to me, making me think maybe they hit nothing here. So I check as well to disguise the strength of my hand. The turn is the queen of hearts, another beautiful painted card to go with my set of 5s. Okay, now someone's gotta have a strong hand they're willing to put some chips in with, right? First to act bets $10. What the hell is going on? The cutoff calls the $10 and I already missed one street of value. I raise it up to $60. If I take it down now, fine, I take it down. But betting $10 on this board seems ridiculous to me. The early position player thinks for a while, but does put in the call. The cutoff folds. Okay, got that one through with one player still with me. The river comes out, a very safe 9 of diamonds. All the flushes miss, 10 jack made a straight on the turn, so I know my opponent doesn't have that. So my set is definitely good here, right? But I want my bet sizing to appear somewhat bluffy and like I missed the flush or straight or whatever, like I'm just trying to get max value. So I slide an even stack of $100 out after my opponent checks to me. I think he even said, "You made a flush, huh? Did you make a flush?" And I was really confused by that since there wasn't actually a way for me to make a flush. Maybe he meant a straight, or maybe he didn't realize what the board was. Either way, he folds, and I make a little bit back. With this board, I was really expecting to get it all in, so no idea what my opponent had. I call a $15 raise from early position, and we go 6 ways to a flop of ace of hearts, 7 of spades, 6 of spades. Early positions check, and the player to my right goes all in for $85. I have no idea what he's doing this with, but being the short stack at the table, it could really be anything. Maybe it's a set, maybe he's got 2 pair, I just don't know. It's just too much for me to call with my bottom pair and a backdoor prayer for a flush. I probably should call,
but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
and I don't have the strength, and I let my hand go. I definitely would have continued for a smaller bet, since I did connect with the board. But the reason I included this hand is because this kept happening a lot. I hate these tables where people buy in for small amounts like $100 or $200 and then shove for a relatively small amount. I get it, it's a strategy, and they're willing to risk $85 in this case to win 90, but it doesn't mean I have to like it or even respect it. It's so frustrating. And in a later hand, my frustration in this spot gets the best of me in a terrible spot, and I snap. Here's another one of those hands, but not the one I was just referring to. I'm under the gun and look down at a premium of ace queen of spades. I raise it to $15. I think only the button called the $15, and then the same guy who just shoved for $85 now shoves for $145. I like my hand, although it's likely a flip, and with a few players left to act behind me, I want to make sure they don't want any part of this hand so I can go heads up with this guy. So I go all in for more, which I think was around 350 at this point, but 145 effective, right? Everyone else folds, so mission 1 accomplished. We're heads up. The dealer pulls our chips and then runs out the cards. And they are about as bad as it gets for my ace-queen suited. One single spade on the 10 high board. My opponent shows pocket jacks and scoops the $300+ pot. I think this was the right call, but let me know in the comments. Of course, at this point, I had to add on for another $200.
That must be frustrating.
It's worse.
Late position raises it to $10 and gets 4 callers. 5 ways to a flop of 10 of clubs, 2 of diamonds, queen of clubs. I have an open-ended straight draw on a wet and somewhat connected board. Being first to act, I check. It checks around and the button makes it $25. I'm going nowhere with my open-ender and call the $25. Everyone else folds and we're heads up with the guy who likes to shove. The turn is the ace of clubs, completing my Broadway straight, but also completing the front door flush. I check to the aggressor, and he friggin' checks back. Come on! You're supposed to at least put in a bet here. Ugh, I'm getting so heated at this point. The river is the 10 of diamonds, pairing the board. If he had a 10, he just made trips, and he's not folding to any bet. There is a number of combinations this guy could have, and he should call any bet, I would think. So I lead out for a measly $25, just praying he'll raise me or at least call. Just trying to make it look like I'm trying to steal the pot. And he folds. He folds to a $25 bet. Why can't I get paid today? There's a $5 straddle from under the gun. I look down at a suited one-gapper. There are a number of limpers before the straddler makes it $25, which I call and 4 others do as well. So a pretty big pre-flop pot of $125 already. The flop comes out 10 of hearts, 5 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds. So how do I feel about this flop? No clubs and middle pair with a crappy kicker. I think if that 5 had been a 6 or certainly an 8, I would feel much better about this board. I connected, but not very well, and I've got a terrible kicker. And what's more is the straddler now leads out for $75. Do I believe him? I'm not sure. But an over 60% pot bet into 5 other people is pretty damn strong. I really wanted to call, but like I said, if that 5 had been a 6 or an 8, it's a no-brainer. But another shitty spot with a tough decision to make, and adding to my frustration.
This is not how I thought this day was going to go.
I fold. And with that frustrated fold, folks, I will end this episode and leave it to be continued, because it did continue, as did the tilt. As always, be kind to one another, and may the felt be with you.